Hello everyone, this is Priyasha from CrackZat and welcome to my first study session where we'll be discussing some critical reasoning questions. Now what are exactly these study sessions and how are they different from the normal videos? I'll tell you this. So study sessions are basically me trying to mimic you people. So as an MBA aspirant would be sitting down and doing questions on his or her own. I'm also planning to do similar thing over here in this video. The thing is that this video is different from the normal videos because in the normal videos I explain each and everything in detail, but here since I'm mimicking you guys, I will be keeping the time constraint in mind, and just like you people have to understand and give the right answer in the limited time, I'll also replay the same mode. The benefit would be that you will see the exact approach by which you should target a question, the way you should solve it, what is the process, and what is the methodology, and what is the mindset which you should have while solving the questions. So here are some questions on CR which are really important for not only ZAT but also the other OMETs coming your way like SNAP, CMAT and MICAT. So let's get started. And here one very important and essential thing is that you people see how I am deleting the options or how I am selecting the option. I will keep speaking to myself. Of course, it will be a little more descriptive than I actually do in real life because anyways you're watching the video, so you need to learn something here. But then still I will cut short my description or detailed explanation very much in these study sessions. So let's get started. The first question is about a naturalist who is talking about something. So let's read it. For decades, we have known that there is a kind of species. Now remember, the names are not that important, everyone, because they are just to eat up your time. A New Zealand reptile which has been approaching extinction in the South Island, but since South Island and North Island were considered to be same species, there was no need to protect them. But new researchers indicate that the South Island tuataras are distinct from the other one. So therefore, now the South Island tuatara, if they get lost, the entire species will be lost. So the human beings are now obliged to prevent their extinction. You can see the transition happening. Even if it means killing many of the unendangered predators, the human beings will still do it. So which of the following principles most helps to justify the naturalist's argumentation? Nature argumentation दो तरह की रखी है. पहले जब he was not worried about that and now when he is worried about it. So any option which is taking care of this, I'll go with that. First one here comes your way is, in order to maximize the number of living, steps should be taken to preserve all the local population. It's a very common thing, and common baseline things are never the principles. Okay, something should show what happened in the entire paragraph. When an animal is in danger of dying, there's an obligation to save its life, correct? If doing so would not interfere with the health of the other animals is wrong, because they are saying in the last two lines that even if it leads to killing of many unendangered species, I'll do that. Option C, the threat of local extinction imposes no obligation, just like no need to protect them. But then whereas the threat of global extinction will impose such an obligation, but the moment they realize that the entire species will be lost, they are now serious. This is a good one, but I'll still keep it on hold till I eliminate the other options. Option D says human activities are either intentionally or unintentionally threatening the survival. See, only pinpointing human activities is wrong here, which was not being talked about also. So option D goes out. Option E, species that are found only one circumscribed geographical region ought to be given more care and attention than the other species. Now remember that they being found in only one area is not the reason why we are trying to protect them. We are trying to protect them because they are getting extinct. So therefore, just it's just framed in a wrong way. So therefore I will eliminate option E, and the one which I kept on hold will be my right answer, which is C. So I went for this question as the answer is C. I hope you all understood and got what was my methodology. Let's move to the second one. If I get this second question, there are about 75 brands of microwave popcorn. Altogether, they account for a little over half of the money from the sales of microwave food products. 3 minutes to pop up in a microwave, 7 minutes to pop up conventionally, yet by weight microwave popcorn is typically 5 times as much costlier as the conventional popcorn. But judging by the popularity, many people were willing to pay. This sentence is very important. Willing to pay a high price for just a additional added convenience. So if the statements in the passage are true, which one of the following should also be true? All right, whatever mentioned above is true, then the other lines would also be true. Let's read the options. No single brand of microwave popcorn accounts for a larger share. Shares are never been discussed, so it's out of the game. This is the reason why I eliminated. There are more brands of microwave popcorn on the market than there are. Brands are not being discussed, again, not relevant. By volume, more microwave popcorn is sold in conventional. I will put it on hold. Then more money is spent on microwave food products that take 3 minutes, or okay, more money is spent by whom is not clear. Okay, and then on the microwave food products that take longer time, not clear that what kind of money is spent, ye cost wala money hai ya fir spending wala money hai. So it's quite ambiguous, you can say. So I will eliminate that. Option A, of the total, okay, I'm so sorry, I just will not call it ambiguous because it's actually been mentioned over here that people are willing to pay a higher price. So देख रहे हो, गलतियां सिर्फ स्टूडेंट से नहीं होती है अब मैं आपको मिमिक कर रही हूँ, तो इस तरह से आप भी कुछ बहुत जल्दी छोड़ सकते हो कोई इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। तो अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप कुछ छोड़ रहे हो, तो एक बार जाकर जरूर वापस से क्वेश्चन को देखो। सो मुझे भी लगा कि ये शायद हमने कहीं डिस्कस ही नहीं किया था कि ये कॉस्ट है या फिर स्पेंडिंग है, बट देन सडनली आई रियलाइज कि अरे एक बहुत अच्छा कीवर्ड था जो मैंने अंडरलाइन किया था, दैट इज विलिंग टू पे। सो आई केम बैक एंड चेक हियर, देन विलिंग टू पे इज ऑफ कोर्स द मोर मनी स्पेंड, सो दिस इज आल्सो ऑन होल्ड। of the total number of microwave products on the market, most of them are this is not something which is definitely true. So therefore this is also out. Now when I check for the correct answer, what should be the correct answer? Let's compare C and B. C is talking about volume and D is talking about money. Let's see that कौन से ज़्यादा बिकते हैं. If is it mentioned anywhere the sales of the food products is given, but then microwave 75 brands of microwave popcorn है, which is little over half है. So if you say that by volume more microwave popcorn is sold, little over half makes sense, right? But then is that really what makes us go always true, or is that the fact that people are always willing to pay a higher price just for an added convenience? Now if we check option D over here, more money is spent on microwave food products that takes less time. Now taking less time is adding 2 points to your answer. I will go with this answer, not this, because इसमें सिर्फ half चीजें लिखी हैं. What's the half part mentioned? The half part mentioned is that just volume ज़्यादा बिक रहा है, but ये यहाँ पर हम मनी ज़्यादा देना प्रेफर कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इसमें एक एडेड कन्वीनियंस है. सो इट्स लाइक फुल, एंड ये हाफ फुल का रीजन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होता है टू गेट द आंसर्स डन. Let's move to the third one. A law that is not consistently enforced does not serve its purpose. Law without enforcement is not law. It is merely a stature, a promise of law. So the institute the real law, you have to declare that such behavior is forbidden, and it is also to punish those that violate the edict. And furthermore, those who enforce must punish without favor of friend or malice for enemies, to punish those only whom you dislike, while forgiving those is not enforcement of law. And the main point of the passage is what I need: exercise of power out, authorizing the enforcement of punishments. Only punishments is not what we are talking about. Unbiased, yes. Without favor. Punishment of prohibited behavior, yes, looks correct. Understanding the purpose of the law, not correct. Purpose is the word which will eliminate this option. Clearly undefining the unacceptable behavior, it's not just unacceptable behavior's definition, but also talking about punishing the wrong one. So therefore my hold one is correct. I will go with option C, guys. Then coming down to number 4, psychological research has uncovered disturbing evidence linking a number of structural disorders due to jogging. So among the ailments seems connected with this now popular sport is spinal disc, A, B, C. क्या क्या ailments है ये पढ़ के मैं अपना time waste नहीं करूँगी. Okay. Furthermore, these injuries do not occur exclusively among beginning runners. Veterans joggers suffer an equal percentage of injuries. तो मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने अभी अभी jogging की है तो ये problem हो रहा है. This has been seen in veteran joggers as well. What was accumulating data suggests is that the human anatomy is not able to withstand the stresses of jogging. Okay, so it's like our anatomy which is the problem. problem. Which one of the following is an assumption? Now please understand the meaning of assumption. अगर आपने मेरे basic concept videos critical reasoning पे नहीं देखे हैं तो please check the pinned comment and the description box. I have linked all the selective videos of critical reasoning over there, which will really help you to understand the difference between assumption, inference, conclusion, course of action, etc. So assumption का मतलब है कि मैं इस पैराग्राफ को पढ़ के क्या गेस कर पा रही हूँ कि there is a link between jogging and structural disorders. बिल्कुल सही, but then I'll keep it on hold. Jogging causes more serious than other sports. Comparison kahin nahi hui hai, so out. The jogger's level of experience is a factor of determining the likelihood of jogging injury. Wrong. They have just mentioned that every type of jogger are facing the same kind of issues. Some sports are safer. Again, no comparison. Option E, the species is not very durable. See, not very durable is wrong. If I would have said that the human anatomy doesn't support jogging well, this would have been correct. So I will go with option A as the correct answer, because there are linked evidences of problems being created by jogging. Let's move on to the fifth one. All students at Pitcom College were asked to label themselves conservative, liberal or middle of the road. तीन कैटेगरी में डिवाइड करने की बात हुई है. 25% ने conservative कहा है, 24 ने liberal, 51 ने middle of the road. So when asked about a particular set of issues, 77% went for liberal position. ठीक है, तो इससे आप क्या समझ सकते हो कि if the above statements are true, which one must also be always true? 77% लिबरल चले गए, दो उन्होंने अपने आप को डिवाइड 25, 24, 51 में किया था. So what do I understand from it? All the students who labeled themselves liberal endorsed what is generally regarded as liberal. Liberal तो liberal खुद को बुलाएंगे ही, but liberal तो खुद को बुलाने वाले बहुत कम लोग थे, वो थे 24%, but 24 से बढ़कर 77% लोग अब अपने आप को liberal stand दे रहे हैं. तो ये ऑप्शन आउट है. Number B is more students who labeled themselves middle of the road, who labeled themselves liberal, opposed what is generally liberal. They did not opposed, because अगर middle of the road वालों ने भी oppose किया होता तो ये number बढ़कर 77 नहीं होता. So I will cut off B as well. The majority of students who labeled themselves middle of the road sorry, opposed what is generally okay. Again, opposed word is something because of which I will eliminate option C also. Option D, some students who labeled themselves conservative endorsed what is actually liberal. This makes sense. Why? Because अगर conservative वाले यानी 25% वाले भी 24% वाले के साथ मिल जाएंगे तो they will, you know, at least come up to a bigger number. So they must have done this, then only the number has shooted so high. So this is something which must be true. But I'll check it with option E first. Some students who label themselves liberal endorse what is conservative. नहीं, अगर liberal वाले conservative पे change हो जाते तो ये 25%, ये 77% कभी develop नहीं हो पाता. So that is also wrong. We'll go with option D. सुनने में काफी अजीब सा question है, but then it's more like true and false kind of a question. So that makes sense to all of you. Let's go to question number 6. Lenore is saying that it is naive to think that historical explanations can be objective. In evaluating evidence, historians are always influenced by their national, political and class loyalty. ये Lenore का मानना है. But what is Victor saying? Still the very fact that cases of biased thinking have been detected. Biased thinking के cases detect हुए हैं ऐसा विक्टर बोल रहा है. तो वो लिनोर को बोल रहा है कि आप जो ये बोल रहे हो, there is still fact, there is still cases where biased thinking has been detected. The sources of bias identified shows that the people who can maintain objectivity. So Victor's response does not succeed as a rebuttal. Rebuttal means kind of, you know, dismissal when you are refusing someone's stake. So it's not a rebuttal of Leonard's argument. Because of which response, means because of which reason are you, can you say that ये exactly उसको wrong नहीं prove कर पा रहा है? Number one, because his response displays the same kind of biased thinking as that against which Lenore's argument is directed. No, he is not biased here. Now, does not address the special case of historians who would propose distort evidences. Again, we are going out of the context here. Okay, I called it OOC. We are going out of the context in this question, guys. Now, option C says fails to provide examples of cases in which the biased thinking has been detected as a source of that biased identified. Now here he has not proved himself, or I think we should say Lenore, wrong, because not of the fact that he has not shown some examples. Why? Does not consider sources of bias in historical explanations other than those that are due to, Okay, does not consider sources. Again, it's very similar. Sources पर आ गया, यहाँ example था, यहाँ sources है. Again, this is not effective. If you read the last one, you will see he is overlooking the possibility that those who detect and identify the bias can themselves be biased in some way. अगर उन्होंने ये बात बोली होती तो उन्होंने परफेक्टली रिब्यूट किया होता लेनोर के आर्ग्यूमेंट को. कैसे? क्योंकि लेनोर यही तो कह रही थी कि हिस्टोरिकल एविडेंसेस और एक्सप्लेनेशंस ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होते हैं, एंड ऐसे जो भी हम हिस्टोरियंस को देखते हैं वो किसी ना किसी बायस से घिरे होते हैं. तो अगर इसे ये कहा जाता कि देखो आप जो ये चीज बोल रहे हो इसमें आप भी बायस्ड होते, देन इट वुड हैव मेड मोर सेंस. सो ऑप्शन ई वुड हैव बीन द आंसर. ये थोड़ा हाई क्लास क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग क्वेश्चन है गाइस, just preparing you for the worst. Option 7. High technology medicine is driving up the nation's wealth care roots. Recent advancements in cataract surgery illustrates that. That means there has been an increase in the number of surgeries. Cataracts are a major cause of blindness, especially in the elderly people. 10 years ago, ये surgery काफी painful and not effective थी, but thanks to the new technology, जिसकी वजह से the operation restores the vision dramatically and is less expensive also. So these two factors have caused the number of cataract operations to rise, and in turn driven by the total amount which is spent on the cataract surgeries as well. So if true, which would be supporting a challenge to the author's explanation of the increase in the number of cataract operations, except. That means I would like to highlight an answer which will somewhere not support the claim that increase in the number of cataract operations have taken place. Let's see option A. The overall population of the nation has increased from what it was 10 years ago. This can be one of the reasons why the number of operations have increased. So this is not my answer. And individuals' chance of developing cataract is also greater in these 10 years, can also be the reason why the number of operations are increasing. So this is also not my answer. The number of older people are increased. This is also correct. So this is also not my answer. Today health insurance is also covering cataract surgery, and this can also be a possible reason why the surgeries are increasing. So coming to the last option, people who have had unsuccessful surgeries are left with more seriously impaired vision than that those who had before the surgery. ये तो खतरनाक सिचुएशन है. अगर ऐसा होने लगा तो लोग सर्जरी कराएंगे ही नहीं, एंड देयरफॉर ये एक्सेप्ट के लिए हमारा परफेक्ट आंसर है. समथिंग which does not really supports the increase in the number of cataract surgeries. So I will go with E as my answer. All right, moving to the eighth one. Some companies in the fields where skilled employees are hard to find make signing an agreement not to compete a condition of the employment. In such agreement, the employee promises not to work with a competing firm for a set period after leaving his or her current employer. Courts are increasingly ruling that these agreements are not binding. Yet paradoxically, yani oppositely, for people who sign such agreements when working for competing firms, many firms are unwilling to consider hiring them during the period covered by the agreement. ऐसा आपको क्यों लगता है कि even if it's not very binding as mentioned by the court, still the companies are not preferring hiring those candidates? What can resolve this paradox? Why is this that the companies are not hiring from the competing firms? Option A says that many companies don't want to take the risk of being involved in lawsuit, जो कि बहुत appropriate है, but I'll keep it in hold till I read the other options. In some industries, for example, the broadcast media companies, main source of new employees tends to be the people who are already employed in the competing firm, not relevant. Most companies that require their employees to sign agreements not to compete are aware that these documents do not legally bind, and that is the reason why they don't want to hire. No, that is not the real reason for that. Many people who have signed the agreements do not compete are willing to renege the promise by going to work for a company. Renege the promise means break the promise. So this is also not the reason. That is not resolving the paradox. It's actually restating जो already हो चुका है. Option E, many companies, not companied, companies consider their employees established relationships with the clients and other people outside the company to be valuable. अगर ऐसा होता तो लोग तो जमकर hire करते है ना. If people think that this employee has sources or connections with the client, तो वो तो उसे जरूर लेगा. So therefore this is going just opposite, and therefore my final answer will be option A for question number 8. Okay, let's move down to the next question, everyone. Number 9. Mary Ann says that our country should above all be strong. Strength gains the respect of the other countries and makes a country admirable. Where Ennis says that there are many examples in the history where the countries were strong but the strength was used to commit atrocities. We should judge a country by the morality of its actions and not by its strength. If the actions are morally good, the country is admirable. So, which of the following is a presupposition? This is none other than assumption only. Please understand this, which underlines the NS argument. तो मुझे assumption निकालना है इन दोनों की conversation से that at least one country is admirable. No quantity is being mentioned. Countries cannot be both strong and moral. This is also not mentioned. It is possible to assign moral weight to the actions of the countries. Yes, शायद यही reason है कि NS बोल रही है कि सिर्फ strength से काम नहीं चलेगा. The citizens of any country do is good. No, not relevant. Countries should impose their standards of morality on the other countries by whatever means necessary. Other country पे कुछ भी impose करने की बात इस पूरे paragraph में नहीं हुई है. So therefore, my final answer for this question will be option C itself. Let's go to the last question for the day. For democracy to survive, it is imperative that the average citizen be able to develop informed opinions about the important policy issues in today's society. This means that the citizens must be able to develop informed opinions on many scientific subjects, from ecosystem to defense. Yet, as the scientific knowledge advances, the average citizen is increasingly unable to absorb through the information to develop informed opinions on many important issues. So you can see democracy is directly being linked to the scientific advancement. So they are asking you, what do you logically follow from the passage? That's what's your takeaway from the passage, that scientists are having a duty to educate people. No, duty word is absolutely wrong. The survival of democracy is threatened by the advance of scientific knowledge is correct, but then we'll hold it. Every citizen has a duty. Again, the duty of a citizen is wrong. The most effective democracy, most effective is the keyword, while I'll eliminate this one as well. Democracy will survive if there are at least some citizens who are capable of developing informed. सिर्फ कुछ citizens के develop करने से नहीं होगा. We'll have to go by the average, all, many, more. Okay, so therefore this is also out of the game. I will continue with option B as my correct answer, and therefore with this we come to the end of our study session. So from this study session, I hope your major takeaways is the approach by which I am solving the question. Remember, at any point if you find this video fast, you have the option on YouTube to slow it down. So playback speed को कम कर कर आप इसे आराम से समझ भी सकते हो. But then the purpose of study session is to show you how an aspirant should target a question in the real examination. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you really did, then don't forget to comment below and tell me what topic do you want me to bring a study session next on. And don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends as well. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, guys. ZAT की पूरी तैयारी आपको इस channel पे करवा दी जाएगी. Take care, study hard, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.